Hello and welcome back to Unwinding Minds. If you're living with chronic illness, whether it's fibromyalgia, ME, POTS, lupus, long COVID, or another invisible condition, this video is here to offer calm, clarity, and comfort through the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy. Now, before you click away thinking it means being emotionally numb or bottling things up in favor of experiencing them, or in favor of getting swole and stamping down your feelings with anger, it's not that at all. And it's only that if you make it that. In fact, Stoicism can be a gentle, empowering way to navigate the ups and downs of chronic illness with more peace, clarity, and kindness towards yourself. So let's take a slow deep dive right in by talking about what Stoicism is as a philosophy and how, as a counsellor, I think it can lead to a shift in mentality that can be healing for some clients. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. That quote comes from Marcus Aurelius. Let's take a bit more time to really understand what Stoicism is together, because it is often misunderstood. When people hear the word Stoic, they might think of someone who's cold, stiff upper lip, maybe even emotionally detached. You know, the typical Brit. But the actual philosophy is much more nuanced and, I dare say, compassionate than people actually expect. Stoicism at its heart is about learning to live well, no matter what life throws at you. It's a practical philosophy, something to do, not just something to think about. Thinking of things does, of course, have many merits. It's just that it can make us feel more in control of life if we can pair different thoughts with different actions. And it can lead us to even more change when we do both. Stoicism originated in ancient Greece around the 3rd century BC with a chap named Zeno of Citium, and was later embraced by Roman thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, who was an emperor of Rome, Epictetus, a former slave turned philosopher, and Seneca, a statesman and writer. What they all believed, despite their very different backgrounds, was this: we don't control the world. We only control how we respond to it. It sounds simple, but it's quietly profound, especially when you're facing something as unpredictable and often frustrating as a chronic illness. Every day is different, so it might help if you treat it that way. Let me explain with a little example. Say you wake up and your body's in pain. You didn't choose that, you didn't bring it on yourself, and it's not your fault. That's what the Stoics would call an externally driven event. It lies outside of your control. But what is within your control is how you speak to yourself in that moment. Tricky. You know, whether you allow yourself to rest without guilt, whether you let that frustration spiral, or gently accept that this is just how today is. Stoicism trains the mind to pause and ask, is this within my power? If not, I'll let it be. If it is, I'll do my best. This distinction, the Stoics called it the dichotomy of control, is the cornerstone of the entire philosophy. It's not about apathy. It's not about saying, oh, well, life is hard, so I'll just give up. Quite the opposite, actually. It's saying I will focus my energy on what I can shape, and I'll find peace in letting go of the rest. Now, this doesn't happen overnight. Stoicism, or living by any kind of philosophy for that matter, is like training a muscle. We strengthen it with small daily practice, but over time it can create steadiness, a calm in the storm, and a quiet courage. And here's something lovely: Stoicism isn't just about enduring life, it's about living a good life, a life marked by virtue, by character, and by inner strength. The Stoics believed our ultimate job isn't to chase pleasure or to avoid pain, but to live with wisdom, justice, courage, and self-discipline. And guess what? You can do all of that, even from bed, even during a flare-up, even when there are days when you feel anything but strong. Stoicism says your circumstances don't define your worth, your values do. And I do appreciate that it's really challenging for most of us to feel that way. We actually focus a lot on circumstance in daily life as a society. It starts when you meet someone and politely ask, "What do you do?" It's a question with an intention of getting to know someone, and not one you need to skip out on, FYI. But the focus subconsciously is on the merit of one's actions, not on your values as a human being. I see a lot of people in life who focus on fast cars or having a good job, and that stuff can matter, but it doesn't influence the feeling of who you are unless you make a choice for it to be a factor. Your values, on the other hand, well, that's something that people actually think about at your funeral. Almost no one's going to say his Bugatti was super cool, but they might be able to say he was focused and determined to live a life he loved, even on hard days. You may have been told your whole life that you need the circumstances to be better in order to be a better person. It doesn't necessarily follow, though. Another aspect of Stoicism that is part of the core of the philosophy, and I want to talk about it, is amor fati. That is, to love your fate, even the hard parts. I think we'll save this fascinating but really interesting material for next time, though. So if you're interested, please comment below and I'll put that together. And do consider subscribing. I pay attention to the kind of material you indicate that you're interested in. So it really helps if you communicate it to me by subscribing, liking, etc. So now we've got a clearer picture of what Stoicism is. It's not a stiff upper lip, but rather a steady inner compass. It's a way to meet the chaos of life with clarity and calm. But let's be honest, if you're living with a chronic illness, some days it feels like your body's running the show, doesn't it? You might think, how on earth am I meant to be virtuous and live a steady life when I can barely get through the day? Well, here's what I want to introduce. It's a very gentle idea. Stoicism and self-kindness are not opposites. They can belong together. In fact, the Stoics talked a lot about compassion, for yourself and for others. They just didn't really shout about it. Their version of self-love wasn't bubble baths and spa days. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But rather being honest with yourself without being cruel. Doing your best, even if your best looks different today than it did yesterday. Forgiving yourself for being human. The philosopher Epictetus once said the following: "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do, and your life will go smoothly." Now, he wasn't saying just accept everything blindly. He was saying meet reality where it is. Don't waste your energy resisting what is. Instead, use that energy to choose your response. And sometimes the most stoic response of all is to stop. It's to rest. It's to not do. Let's walk through some warm and practical ways together to gently live a more stoic life, especially when you're living with a chronic illness, because it's hard. There's no guidebook on how to do that. I would recommend a gentle morning practice, also called the Stoic Preview. You can start your day by calmly preparing your mind with thoughts like, there may be pain today. My plans might change. I might have a really bad fatigue day. I might not get everything done, and that's all right. It's not pessimism, it's preparedness. It helps soften the blow when things don't go to plan if we accept that they might not. Then you can ask, well, what virtues can I embody today? Maybe it's patience or courage. Maybe it's simply kindness towards yourself. I would try that just for a few days to see what it does, if anything. Then when you feel ready to add in something else, you can try the next exercise, an evening reflection or a debrief with yourself. Before bed, you can take a few quiet minutes to just jot a few thoughts down. You can ask questions like, what challenged me today? How did I respond? What can I try differently tomorrow? Again, this isn't a test. It's just gentle, curious noticing. You're not scolding yourself. You're learning from your own experiences. And if what you managed today was just getting through, that's really worth honoring too. Your mental state is going to fluctuate. Your health and your body are going to fluctuate. You're going to have days where getting through is the challenge. And that's okay. Another thing that you can try is putting a bit of a toolkit together for bad days. When symptoms flare, here's a little Stoic checklist that you might need to keep nearby. By all means, you can print it out, tattoo it on your skin, whatever floats your boat, and I'll pop these onto my website as well. Questions like, am I blaming myself for something beyond my control? Can I replace frustration with patience here? What would kindness look like right now? Can I let go of something I'm gripping too tightly? Even one small shift in mindset can take the edge off of a difficult day. Reframing your thoughts and reframing the idea of rest as strength is big. One of the most radical Stoic acts, especially when you're ill, is choosing to rest without guilt. You're not lazy, you're not weak. You're honouring the reality of your body, and that's wise, that's virtuous, and that is Stoic. So there you have it. Stoicism isn't about pushing through pain or pretending to be okay. It's about meeting life, your life, as it is, and responding with grace, dignity, and quiet courage. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to do it all. You just have to keep showing up the best you can. Every act of self-kindness, every thoughtful choice, every moment with patience with yourself. That's Stoicism in motion. If this video has brought you any comfort or clarity, do give it a like or share it with someone who might need a little bit of Stoic calm in their life as well. And let me know below, what helps you to stay grounded on the tough days. I'd be really interested to hear. Until next time, take really good care of yourself. Be gentle with your mind and remember, you are already stronger than you think. Take care.